everyone, I'm Claudia and I'll be guiding you through a gentle yoga practice today along with your breath. Let's begin by taking some fire breaths. So we're going to stand with our feet about hip width apart. Allow your toes to point forward and then start to inhale. Bring the energy up by keeping the palms up. Maybe look up. Fill the body, and then as you exhale, hinge at the hips. You can support your back, hands on your thighs. Exhale, release. So inhale through the nose, reach up. Maybe start to squeeze the glutes so that you're using the glutes to help you up. And then as you exhale, release. One more time, inhale, fill the body with positive energy. Exhale, release. Good, let's do it one more time. Inhale and exhale, let go of anything that doesn't serve you. Good. Then from here, we're going to settle into a comfortable position on our mats. So you may need some blocks today, so just have them at the top of your mat. You may also need a bit of a blanket for cushioning your knees. So you can start to lie down on your back, and check in with your body. See what's comfortable for you. Maybe you're ready to stretch legs long if the low back feels okay. And then draw your shoulders onto your back, lift the chest, and then let the shoulders slide down your back, palms turn up. And then widen the feet slightly, let the toes fall out to the sides. And then start to settle into your breath. Close your eyes. Notice the parts of the body that are touching the floor, and then soften all the parts in between. And begin to follow your breath. Allow yourself to come into the present moment. Try to let any thoughts move into the background. And allow yourself to be here in this space, in this moment. So as you're breathing, fill the belly. As you inhale, and feel the belly rise. And then as you exhale, let the belly fall. And then you can transition to breathing in and out through the nose. And then just start to let the body relax. Let the body soften. And if you're having trouble focusing, you can always say to yourself, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. And let's stay here for 3 more breaths. So as you move through your yoga practice today, be mindful that each of our bodies is different, and we'll each come into the poses a little differently. And use your breath as a guide to help you through your practice today. And if you can't breathe in a pose, that's a guide to relax and come out of the pose a little bit more. And you can always come into Shavasana or child's pose at any time during your practice. So now start to gently wake up the body. You can maybe move the neck gently to one side and then to the other side. And then start to bend the knees, place the feet on the floor. Adjust the low back, the hips, and then start to hug the knees into your chest. Maybe lift up head and shoulders and squeeze into a ball. And then lower head and shoulders. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Reach your legs up to the ceiling. Reach the legs away from you as you inhale, and then exhale, plug them in. And then reach your arms away from you, and then exhale, plug them in. And then you can circle wrists and ankles, just letting go of any tension in the wrists and the ankles. Good. And then the other way. And we'll do I'll show you the first exercise, or the beginning of the exercise, and then we'll repeat 3 times. Good. And then from here, we're going to reach our arms away from us as we inhale, and then exhale, plug arms in and reach arms behind your back. And just getting a nice stretch. And as you do this, Draw the belly button in. Keep the front ribs down. And then as you exhale, lift head and shoulders, squeeze the core, and just start to wake up the low back, stretching out the core, strengthening the core. And then inhale, reaching up. Exhale, arms overhead. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, lifting head and shoulders. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, squeeze the core as arms come overhead. And then inhale, arms up, lift head and shoulders, squeeze the core, and come down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to reach. Exhale to come up. So depending on your speed, we've just increased the speed of the exercise to just flow with 1 breath each way. Good. And then you can lower head down, hug it in, and just rock the body side to side. Just rocking from one side to the other side. Just massaging out any tension. And like I said, you can always pause. If something's feeling really good, you can stay in that pose a little bit longer. Good. Then from here, let's place our feet on the floor. Open our arms into T. Make sure the feet are hip width apart, toes are pointing forward. Take an inhale at the top, and then as you exhale, let the knees fall to one side. If it feels good through the head, let the head fall to the other side. And then inhale the head to center, legs up. And then exhale, let the knees fall, turn the head to the other side. And we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale up, exhale, release. Inhale up, exhale, release. 2 more. And feel your breath guiding you as you move through the practice. 1 more time. Good. And then we can reach our arms up to the ceiling. Again, reach them up away towards the ceiling, and then exhale, plug them in. And we'll inhale, reach the right arm back, and let the left arm come alongside your body. And notice how you still need to connect the core here as you're doing this work. And then inhale to center, exhale, switch. 3 more. Inhale up, exhale to center, inhale up, exhale to center, inhale up, exhale to center, inhale up, exhale, and our last one. So feel that movement. And if you can't touch the back of the hand to the floor, you can use your thumb as a guide. So 1 more, and then the other way. Good. And then let yourself take a full body stretch. Inhale, arms up. Stretch one leg out. Stretch the other leg out. And really feel the stretch in the body. Inhale, reach the arms nice and long. Reach the legs nice and long. And then exhale, release. Good. And then from here, bend the knees again. Place both feet on the floor. And we'll hug the right knee into our chest. You can lift head and shoulders if that feels good through the body. And then you can lower head and shoulders down. And we can start to hold the back of our hamstring. And we can, again, just point and flex the foot, making sure that our foundation is ready for our yoga practice today. And then circle the ankles. And the other way. And then start to notice your hamstrings. Release the hand a little bit more. Stretch the foot up towards the ceiling. Draw your belly button in. Lift head and shoulders. Maybe you can walk the hands up the leg. And just feel that nice stretch through the hamstrings. Pause here for 2 breaths. And then then gently release. You can always use a strap here as well. And put the left foot down and hug the put the right foot down, hug the left knee in. Good. Lift head and shoulders, feel that nice stretch. Lower down. Hold the back of the hamstring. Point and flex the foot. And then circle. And again, always to a range that's pain-free. And make sure you go in both directions. And just make sure that feels good in your body. Good. And then lower the left foot to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall out to the sides, coming into butterfly. And you might notice one hip is tighter than the other. Try to keep level through the pelvis. And you can bring your arms into T, or you can bring them into cactus. And just let yourself relax here. We'll close our eyes, and we'll take 3 full breaths here. Good, and then you can take your hands and reach them to the legs. So help close those knees back together like a book. And then reach your right arm overhead, roll to the right side, and then press yourself up to a seated position. And we can repeat that butterfly from a seated position. So you can sit up nice and tall, bring the soles of your feet together, feel the sit bones grounded, and then maybe clasp your hands and try to root through the sit bones as you lengthen the spine and let the knees fall to the sides. And this is often a very tight area, so it's just really helpful to do this pose more often. And it's nice to do it against a wall where you can have a little bit more support and you can actually stay there a little bit longer. Good. Then from here, we're going to come to center. And we're going to stretch our right leg long and open our left foot to the floor. So we're coming into the left foot will be against our right inner thigh and sitting up nice and tall. We'll inhale, reach our arms up, and then exhale, let yourself hinge at the hips and fold forward. So you're reaching to where the body will let you go. Flex the right foot, let the foot be active, and then let yourself look straight ahead and take 3 more breaths. Good, and then you can come back to center, lift the left leg up, straighten it out, and then bend the right knee, open it out to the sides, and let that right hip open up a little bit. You may need to support your knee with a block if you're feeling like you're really floating up a lot higher than your hip. And I always like to have a blanket underneath me just to prop the hips up a little bit more. So you can always adjust the blanket and always make sure you're comfortable in the position. So sitting up nice and tall, reach the arms up, inhale, flex the foot, and then exhale, hinge forward. And then try to have your nose towards your toes, and then pause to breathe. So when you're doing this practice at home, you can always stay in the pose a little bit longer if you're feeling like you need to stretch a little bit more. Good. 2 more breaths. Good. So option 2, come back to that butterfly. If you're feeling like you'd like to open up a little bit more, bring yourself back into balance. Sit up nice and tall, lengthen through the spine. Take a few breaths here. And then let's move into our cat-cow. So you can make sure your blocks are at the top of your mat again. Cushion your knees.
You can always get some bean bags as well, if you have very sensitive knees, and you can put those underneath your knees to cushion yourself a little bit more. But whatever is comfortable for you. Then place your hands right underneath your shoulders, knees are right under hips, toes are curled under, and then we're going to start with our cat first. So we're going to tuck our chin, round our back, draw our belly button in towards our spine, and then tuck our lower back and tailbone under. And if you really feel there's a tight area, stay there a little bit longer. And then as you inhale, extend the tailbone, the low back, let the belly drop. And rather than sinking into the shoulders, push into the thumb mound, index mound, and turn the eye of the elbows forward so you are still opening up through collarbones and not collapsing through the shoulders. So we're starting to rotate the shoulders onto our back. So let's do 3 more like that. So you can tuck the chin, round the spine, draw the belly button in, and then tuck the lower back and tailbone under. And then from here, inhale and extend, opening up through the collarbones. You can always turn the hands out slightly if that helps. Just try not to lock out the elbows. 2 more. Exhale, drop the chin, round through the spine, draw the belly button in, tuck the tailbone under, and then inhale, release, and open up. Our last one, and always feel free, I find I often close my eyes when I'm doing the movement to really feel the movement in my body. It really helps me to connect a little bit more. And again, always make sure, inhale, follow the breath. Let the breath follow the movement. Good. Then from here, we're going to walk the hands forward, bring the hips forward, and draw the belly button in. So this is your kneeling plank. From here, feel the collarbone staying open, draw belly button in, tailbone tucks under, and then lower yourself to the floor. Once you get to the floor, take an inhale. Exhale, draw the belly button in, squeeze the shoulders onto your back, and press back up to your plank. We'll do 2 more like that. So we'll lower down to the floor, take an inhale, exhale, press back up, and then our last one. And just make sure this is pain-free. This is a gentle way to move through your flow and to help prep you for downward facing dog. So from here, you can send your hips back, and you may not need these, so you can always put them to the side. Let your knees come mat width apart, big toes touch. Send the hips back, and then let your arms reach nice and long, and bring the forehead to the floor, and just stretching out in your balasana, or child's pose. Pause for 3 more breaths. And again, say to yourself, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. You can always take a block and have your forehead come to the block. But try to really connect the forehead to the ground. And just let yourself breathe here. And this is even a nice time to set just some more positive thoughts into your mind. Maybe saying a positive word or a couple of words. Maybe thinking about what you'd like to continue to get out of this class. How are you feeling? Maybe a word that comes to mind for me today is the word fluid. I'm really wanting to feel a little bit more fluidity and flow in my life, in my day. And so maybe your word is strong. Maybe you're going to say, I am strong, or maybe something that resonates with you. And take 1 more breath here, and then start to bring yourself back up. So from here, we can put that all together. We can come into our tabletop and walk our hands a little bit forward. Make sure you're really pressing into thumb mound, index mound, pinky mound. Pad your fingertips, curl the toes under, and then lift the hips up. Bend your knees, send your hips back, and then frame your head or your ears with your hands. Just let the head relax, and then pedal out your feet. Really stretching out calves and hamstrings. Walking your dog. Good. We'll do one more on each side. Good, and then from here, inhale, look towards the hands, and then you can bend your knees and maybe tiptoe the feet towards the hands. And so this is where the blocks come in handy. You can always have the blocks available at the top of your mat. And then from here, bend your knees as much as you need, or have your hands on the blocks. And then inhale, halfway lift, flat back. So hands can come to shins, or if you need more support through the low back, you can put hands on thighs. And then exhale, fold. And then from here, inhale, root to rise. So feel the hamstrings working here. Feel the glutes working as you come all the way up to stand. Try to engage the glutes slightly. Bring the arms up, bring that energy back up to the ceiling. And then exhale, release. So we can just do a few of those breaths. You can inhale, reach up. And then exhale, let yourself hinge at the hips. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Good. So from here, you can allow yourself to come into mountain pose. Feet are 2 fist widths apart. You can lift up all 10 toes and feel the big toe, pinky toe, heel connection. So you can feel how the arches of the feet lift up, soften the knees slightly, draw belly button in, roll the shoulders onto your back, palms can face out, and then lift the chin up slightly so that it's parallel with the floor. And then again, close your eyes and check in with that intention that you set earlier. Let your breath be fluid, flowing in and out of the body, breathing in and breathing out. And like I said, I always like to close my eyes and just check in with my body. This is a good time to feel your inner compass. Maybe even you might notice rocking a little bit forward and backwards on your toes, just to find that center of gravity. And we often tend to not stand up evenly or in our tallest positions. We always want to be as tall as we can, making sure the weight will be a little more into our heels, making sure that we're taking any pressure out of the back and out of the knees. Good. Open your eyes. And then let's go to the back of our mat. And we'll just practice our downward dog. We'll practice walking out a little bit more into downward dog. So we'll inhale, come into our half sun. Exhale, hinge, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And then exhale, walk your hands out. And there will be that spot where you feel like that's where I need to be. And bend your knees. Feet can come, you should stay about hip width apart. Bend the knees, send the hips back. Feel the shoulders come onto your back. And then maybe bring the heels towards the floor. Good. And let yourself take 3 full breaths here. And downward dog can eventually be a pose that is relaxing once we get used to it, once we are feeling that strength in the shoulders. Good, and one more breath. And then inhale, look towards the hands. Exhale, step the feet towards the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. We'll just work a little bit on our lunges from here. So if you do have sensitive knees, use your blanket, fold it up a little bit, use your bean bags. And then from here, we're going to inhale, reach our arms up. And then exhale, hinge forward, bend the knees, and let your hands come to the floor or to your blocks so that you feel nice and stable here. And then step the left leg back and lower the left knee to the floor. From here, you can always bring the blocks up a little bit higher. Walk the right foot a little bit forward. I like to place the back of my left foot down. And then bring the weight more into the front leg so that there's no pressure on that back knee. And then tuck under like you're in your cat so that you are lengthening the tailbone down and really stretching that left hip flexor out. And then you can always reach the arms up if that feels good and open up the chest. Arms can come into your cactus again. Good. And then inhale, arms up. Just a nice addition here is left hand can come across the right knee and right hand can come back. And so you can get a deeper stretch and tuck that tailbone under a little bit more so you can really get into that hip flexor really opening up. Good. And then bring the arms back up. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the hands to your blocks. Send the hips back and come into that runner's lunge where you extend the front leg. Try not to lock out the knee. And then hinge again, hinging forward. Nose is towards the toes and you're keeping the back nice and flat. So this is a deep hamstring stretch. Good. And then to bring yourself back up, bend the front knee and bring it right underneath put your ankle right underneath your knee. Curl your back toes under and lift the back leg up. And then turn the left foot, bring it out to the side slightly and turn the left foot out towards 45 degrees. And then bring the fingertips to your blocks. Straighten the front leg, but keep a little micro bend in your knee and come into a flat back. So this is your pyramid pose. Again, another deep hamstring stretch. Good. And then from here, walk your blocks out a little bit forward, pivot on the back foot, lift the back leg up, coming into a version of your warrior 3. And if you are feeling quite flexible, you can always lower down a little bit more, coming into a standing split. Let the head relax. And then depending on how your balance feels, bring those blocks back up, bend the knee and step that left foot down. Fold forward, maybe come into a rag doll, bend the knees. Let the low back release. Good. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands in front. Then from here, we'll do the other side. So we'll inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, just check that your blanket is on the other side. Send the right leg back. Walk the left foot forward slightly. Bring the blocks right underneath your shoulders. Lower the back foot. And then tuck the tailbone under. So you're rounding more through the back, lifting up the belly, and getting that nice hip flexor stretch. Good. And then we can always open up into reaching our arms up, opening into cactus. Good. Sailor. And then inhale, reach up, and then you can look the opposite way. So tucking right hand under left knee and turning towards that knee and tucking under a little bit more, really releasing through the hips. And then inhale, arms up. Good. And then let's come into that runner's lunge. So you're going to walk that left foot forward, Send the hips back, and then leaning forward into the stretch. Thinking about the chin is tucking in, nose towards the toes. Good. And then bring the left foot down, walk it closer, curl the back toes under, lift the back leg up, and then step the right foot over to the right, turn it out to 45 degrees, and then straighten that front leg, micro bend in the knee, feel that hamstring stretch. And come up to fingertips, flat back. Keep the neck neutral, and pause to breathe. Good, and then pivot on the back foot. Bring the blocks in front of you. Lift the back leg up. Make sure the hips are level. You can point pinky toe towards the floor. And then you can stay here, or you can take it a little bit deeper. You can point the toes, really coming into a deeper hamstring stretch. Good, and then bend the knee. Put the foot on the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and then inhale, reach it all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Good work. Let's add in a balancing pose. So from here, we're going to come back to mountain pose with our feet. We're going to connect the right foot to the floor. Feel the pinky toe, heel, big toe connection. Draw your belly button in. Lift your left knee up. And this is maybe where, as far as you'd like to go. If you're feeling like you need more practice with the balance, create a kickstand with your left foot touching the floor. Otherwise, keep lifting out through that right hip and maybe bring the foot to the inner thigh. Hands can come into prayer, or you can bring the arms up. And if you're feeling like you want something in between those two, bring the foot to the calf, but never against the knee. Good. And then knee to center, release, shake it out. Let's try the other side. Practice your balance. And then come into your version of tree. And use that focal point in front of you as a guide to help you stay focused. Good. And then hands in front of your heart. Knee to center. And release. Good. So from here, we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So I'm just going to do it sideways here, or else I guess I can go into, I'll go forward, but you should go to the back of your mats, on your mats. Then we're going to hinge forward, bend the knees as much as you need, and then we'll practice just holding here, so hands can come to blocks, or you can release the head. And then to come back up, you can bring hands to your hips, squeeze shoulders onto your back, and then come all the way back up. Good. So let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands can come to the floor. You can widen the feet when you feel ready and let the head release. Then look between your legs and just breathe. Good, one more time. And then make sure you're comfortable with your feet, hands on your hips, squeeze shoulder blades onto your back, and then come all the way up to stand. So we'll come into our wide-legged forward fold. Inhale at the top, exhale, hinge at the hips, bring your hands to the floor. And then come into a downward dog with the feet nice and wide. And just feel that stretch as you send the hips back. Let the head relax. Breathe here. 3 more breaths. Good. And then from here, come forward and lower down to a seated position. Then we can cross our legs. You can always sit up on your blanket or a block just to cushion, make sure the sit bones are a little bit elevated so that your knees can come a little bit below your hips. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. And then we can inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands in front of our hearts. One more time. And then our last one. Good. So for our final pose today, we'll come into legs up the wall on our mat. So you can use your block and let yourself roll down on your mat first. Lift your hips up into a bridge and then put the block underneath your sacrum. So you want it to be underneath the tailbone, not the low back. You can have palms down for balance. Bring your knees up and then bring the legs up towards the ceiling. So this can also be done, many of you who've been to my classes like to do this up against the wall. So you can always find a spot against the wall and do this exercise there. And you can stay here as long as you like, if this is one of the poses you really enjoy. And then the option is to stay here for your Shavasana or to bend the knees, place the feet on the floor, lift the hips up, and then slide the block out. It's nice to do some glute bridges here, just to lift the hips up and then lower them down. Meanwhile, drawing the belly button in, lift hips, squeeze glutes, and then inhale, release, and two more like that. Good. So from here you can come into Shavasana again. You can extend your legs long. Roll the shoulders onto your back, lifting up the heart. Palms turn up. Let the feet fall out to the sides and close your eyes. And stay here as long as you like. 2 to 10 minutes. And just surrender in your practice today. Just let go. Come back to your intention. And while you stay in your Shavasana, I'll just read you a few words of inspiration. So a person's willpower is like water. Nothing can stop it. It will pass through mountains. It falls like a waterfall. And it always gets to where it needs to go. And so just to be patient with your practice, with yourself, and just keep moving forward. Keep having positive thoughts in your life and keep working on your goals a little bit every day. So we'll inhale, reach our arms up, and then exhale, hands in front of our hearts. And from my heart to your heart, namaste. And thank you.